So for those of you watching now, I think we're going to get into some spoilers because I think we need to go a bit
We
more
need
deeper
to.
into what we enjoyed from what we didn't enjoy.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the spoiler section for all of you that are still listening. So if you haven't seen it yet, now's the time to divert away and then come back once you have. Now, Marianne, let's start from the beginning and let's just go through it. First of all, how the hell did they kill Luther? That pissed me off. Excuse my language. Now, from the trailer, I knew he was gonna die because he had a lot of the voiceover in the trailer.
Yeah.
And when
Yeah.
you give loads of the voiceover, I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? His days are numbered.
Yeah.
But they didn't have to kill him. There was no reason for him to die. He's an old G
He is
from
an
the very
OG.
first one. No, make him survive, man. That
No, no,
upset me. I
no, no,
didn't
no.
like it.
I was,
I
I
didn't
was,
like it.
I said, although I felt it was sad, and that was the bit that I was referring to, is in, yeah, there were
Yes.
sad bits in it.
Yeah.
I felt like it was necessary. I felt like, okay, this makes sense. If we're
Okay.
talking about final reckoning, I'm like,
Yeah.
some people have to, some people have to go,
Of
you
course,
know,
but why
and
him? Why
that has to
him?
be the motivation. Like, well, do you know, who would you rather? Him,
I
Benji?
I would have got I would have got rid of Benji. Yeah.
You would have got
I
rid
would
of
have got
Benji?
I would have got,
No
and the
way.
reason why, and don't get me wrong, I love Benji,
Yeah,
absolutely love Benji, um, but I would, for me, Luther's been there from day dot. Let him end with, that they're like best buds basically. Let
yeah,
them
that's
both
his
end the
brother.
whole thing together, and plus, him dying really had he didn't Ethan didn't need the motivation because the motivation was already there. So
Yeah.
the fact that he died didn't give him any more of a motivation. If it did, I could say, okay, fair enough. But he
I
had to
felt,
get the entity anyway,
yeah,
regardless.
yeah,
He still would have had to do everything that he did
yeah.
in the film. So what difference did it have that Luther died? Luther made the poison
The
pill.
poison pen, yeah.
So
The poison
why?
pill, sorry. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
why?
um, I feel like Luther was ill. What was he? What did he?
He
What was
looked
wrong with him
ill. I
again?
mean, he looked ill
Yeah,
from
he
the
was
beginning.
ill.
Yeah,
I mean, he was set up. There was a hospital set up for him. He had a nurse. He had
yeah.
somebody caring for him. If he survived to the end of that movie, I don't understand why. I don't understand why he would have. I thought he would. I thought he had cancer, something that
He
was
had
gonna.
something. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So I was
I
like,
agree.
okay, well, he's gone. As soon as I saw him in the scrubs, I was like, yeah, okay. So
That'll
getting
be
rid of
right.
Luther didn't actually. And I get what you're saying about him being his best bud, but for me, Benji has more value in terms of getting the mission
Yeah, I
accomplished.
agree. I
So you
agree with you
can't get
there.
rid of Benji because how's Ethan even going to get the mission accomplished if Benji's gone?
You
Luther,
know what?
yeah,
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
you
Fair
know,
enough.
he's
Fair enough.
disseminating a bomb or two. He's a tech guy, but
Yeah,
you know, how many bombs are they going to have go off? And
yeah,
as they proved, you can always talk someone through
yeah,
what you call it, disseminating. Is it
yeah.
called disseminating? What's the word?
Yeah, no, I
Anyway,
know what you mean.
getting
Yeah.
rid of the bomb.
Okay.
You can
I
do
mean,
that,
fair
but
enough. I think,
you can't
yeah.
replace Benji
I think
unless
you've
they
made.
brought
I think
another
you made a
character
good
in.
argument. I think you've made a good argument. I understand. I think again, it might go back to the whole nostalgia thing for me.
Yeah,
And I was upset to see him go. I wanted to see him go to the end, but
yeah.
you made a good argument. So you know what? I will. I'll bow
Okay,
to you there. You know what I mean?
okay.
Fair enough. Let's move on. Okay. So the second thing I would like to curse about
Yeah.
is Gabriel.
Don't get me
He
started.
is
What
got
kind
to
of
be the
stupid
worst
villain is
villain
villain? Yes.
ever. I mean, first of
Cool.
all, why the hell was he even in these two movies? I have no idea.
Mm,
That's the first thing. All right. Fair enough. He's the one that killed the chick that basically Ethan was going to go down for when he joined the MIS.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
we've read that. Apart from that, it was ridiculous. And the way he died at the end, they gave it a comic relief the way he
That's what I
died.
said. That's what I said.
You know what?
Literally.
That was ridiculous. I hated that. I hated the way he died. And I just think that he was a terrible villain.
He was a terrible
Terrible.
villain. But he was. I think he looked the part of a villain, and I think
Yes.
they
Yeah.
could have done so much more with
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like you said, the way they got rid of him was, I was like,
Ridiculous.
are they actually serious right now? Like, what am I watching? Am I
Ridiculous. Yeah. It was
this is
stupid.
what happened.
It was stupid.
It was
Yeah.
so dumb, so dumb.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, Gabriel, yeah, and even his parts in it, it was just
It was all ridiculous.
every time he was on the screen, I just wanted him
Yeah.
gone. I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm not interested in
Yeah.
you. Go away. Go
Yeah.
away.
Of all the franchises,
Yeah.
to me, he is the worst villain. My favorite
Yeah.
villain is actually Davian Owen from Mission Impossible 3,
Yeah.
played
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
late
Yeah.
great Phil Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
absolutely loved him as a villain.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was ridiculous. I hated him. Um, Sorry, go on.
Can I just say, just before I forget, because I might not mention this, I didn't think there was enough car chasing scenes in this one. And I love I love a
You love
car,
your car chase.
I love a car chase. And I was just
Yeah,
like, what are
yeah,
they doing? Like,
yeah,
I know they had the big when they were coming out of South Africa, or when they were coming out of what's it called now? The
yeah, yeah.
what's it
There,
called?
there, there, there weren't enough car chases.
There wasn't enough car chases,
I don't
yeah.
think there was enough action beats for that longer movie.
Yeah.
I did. There was a lot of exposition, but I didn't find it boring. I was interested because of the throwbacks and stuff like that. So I actually enjoyed it, but I did want more action.
I
I
did
did want more action.
I wanted more action. I I thought the scene with him and Grace when they were caught
Yeah,
by Gabriel the first time,
yeah,
and they were all locked up. I wanted a bit much bigger fight scene. I felt like
yeah.
there should have been,
Yeah.
more intricate stunts and more like,
But then they did give us a good fight scene when he was on the submarine and he was fighting in his underwear.
yeah,
That was a great, and they intercut
and
it
cut
with
it with,
the
yeah,
team fighting as well,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
thought that
yeah.
was done
That
really
was the
well.
best.
Really enjoyed that.
That was my favorite, one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Yeah, that
That
was
was one
really
of my
well.
yeah.
But since when did Grace all of a sudden turn into this fighter? From the first movie, she couldn't fight. This time, she's been able to. I was like, come
Yeah,
on, guys. I was
she's
like,
had
come on.
she's had years of practice, and she's watched
No,
Ethan
she's
do
had
his
months.
thing.
She's had months. It's been a couple months since the last movie, and she has had all of a sudden she can fight. But you know what? I can get past that.
But just
This is the
yeah.
one I really want to cuss about, and I want to see
Okay.
if you agree and if you got this. So towards the end of the movie,
Yeah.
the villains died. Ethan's in the plane, and he's got the thing that he's
It,
got to put the pill
yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's in the plane. It's starting to get a bit of fire. He's got the thing in his hand.
Yeah.
He's got the purple pill. All he needs to do is put it in. But no, he looks at it. He looks at it. He looks at the plane. He looks back at it. He looks at it. He looks at the plane. He puts it in his pocket. Then he jumps out the plane. Listen, Marianne, I
Why
was
do I keep
cutting.
disappearing?
I
Seriously,
You keep disappearing. Yeah, I
I
was
keep disappearing. Yeah.
cutting. All he had to
Same.
do was
It was
literally put it in
put it in.
and
Just put it
done.
in. Just put it
What
in.
the hell was all that about?
I feel like he was thinking to himself, if it sets a light, then I don't have time. But I'm I'm absolutely certain he had
No, it
more.
was rubbish.
They were just trying to build up the suspense, basically. They were trying to build up
Yeah,
some
yeah,
suspense.
they
But I
were.
felt exactly the same as you. Each time, every single like
Yeah,
he saw it what you calling it, setting a light, he could have put it
yeah.
in.
He
As
could
he
have
was
put it in,
getting out,
and then
and no, even as he was in the parachute, he could have
yeah,
put it in properly.
yeah,
He had
yeah,
plenty of time. And then when he finally does, I just thought that was such an anticlimax because
yes.
nothing really happened.
I agree, and this to me is what puts my level of enjoyment of it down quite, because I found
Yeah.
that quite silly. It was
It
unnecessary,
was stupid.
and
Yeah.
they're doing it just for dramatic
Just
effect. But
yeah.
it took away all the dramaticness of it, because you just could see that all he had
You
to
could, it
do was
was,
put the
yeah.
thing in, and
All he had to
you
do was put
know,
it in. There was
yeah.
no
So
there
that
was nothing
really,
complicated about it. It was no
no,
like puzzle or anything like that. You just slot it
yeah,
in. And
yeah.
I
So
was like, just slot it in. Just slot it in.
yeah,
What are you
yeah.
doing? Just slot it in.
Exactly. Exactly. I felt the same way. So that really, that pissed me off. I was just, after that, I literally went like this.
And
I
I know
literally
you
did that.
probably
And you
actually
know
did
me.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I literally did that. So, so those were the things that really got to me, which brought the movie down levels for me. As I
Yeah.
said, I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. I'm not going to say I didn't. I will watch it again and I'll have a good time with it. But it was a disappointing
I
ending.
I can honestly say, hand on heart, I'm subjecting myself to another 3 hours of that. I'm just not.
You know what?
I might not in the cinema anyway. If when
Yeah,
it
yeah,
comes on
yeah,
TV, that will be different. But I'm not
yeah,
paying for
yeah,
that again.
yeah, yeah.
And
Well, yeah, no, I agree.
I was really excited because I thought to myself, I'm gonna watch it like locally, just for
Yeah,
me, you know,
yeah,
because I can't wait another day. And then I was like, oh, and I can't wait to see it on the big screen. So like I was looking at when I could possibly go and see it like an IMAX version, because that's what
yeah,
I wanted to
yeah,
see it in that,
yeah,
the way it was intended. And then when I
yeah.
came out of the cinema, I was like, yeah, I think I've had enough, I think I'm good.
So, so just for everybody, we were all meant to go and see it on Monday. Unfortunately, it got cancelled for whatever reason. So I asked you, we were meant to go and see it in an IMAX screen and whatnot. Would you have left on Monday thinking, what a waste of bloody time and money compared to what you would have seen it today? All right, the atmosphere would have been different because we'd have all been there
Yeah.
together watching it and whatnot. But
And the screen
yeah,
would have
you'd have
made a
been, I know
difference.
you'd have been cussing.
No, the screen would have made a difference. I would have,
Yeah,
like the planes and everything like that. The submarine scenes would have been
amazing. Yes,
extraordinary. You
yes,
know, and that's. But can I just say, you said that you thought the submarine scenes were brilliant. I
yeah,
do to a certain degree. Like I agree with you about what he said about it just being him and the silence and everything like that.
yeah,
But again, it made no sense. Sorry, he took the suit off. He took the
yeah.
suit
He
off
should have
in the
dead. He
submarine.
should have dead like
It
that.
should have been. And they were
Yeah,
talking about,
yeah,
oh, the dizziness, the
yeah,
compulsions,
yeah,
all of that.
yeah,
The
yeah,
disorientation.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
where was my man
yeah,
disorientated?
yeah. He should have
Did
dead.
any
He
of
should
those
have dead.
things
Yeah,
happen? I was expecting to see him twirling around. I was expecting him to see having like,
yeah,
convulsing, everything.
yeah.
Nothing happened to him. And the next thing you
Very
know,
true.
he's in the decompression tank with Grace. Bruv,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
should be
yeah.
properly dead. Not just given
There's
you should be
a lot of
dead.
things, just conveniently happened, or he just survived everything. I agree. It was an amazing scene, but in reality, yeah. I mean, as soon as that thing started rolling down, I mean, you're dead.
You're dead.
You're done. You're done.
Because now the pressure's even worse because it's going
Yeah,
deeper. So
exactly,
it's now clear
exactly,
on the bottom of the ocean. There is
exactly.
no way known to mankind that you should have survived that. No
One
way.
hundred percent. 100%.
In my head, I'm thinking logically, maybe that's my problem. I'm thinking logically. I'm thinking one of the submarine guys has is gonna, come down and get him or something. Someone's gonna save him from under the water because there's no way he's gonna
Yeah,
make it to the top.
yeah.
Not only does he make it to the top, but he makes it without the suit.
True, true.
Calvin.
I think for this movie you really have to, and you have to do it for all the Mission Impossibles, but especially this one, you've just got to disbelieve everything.
That is exactly it. You have to
Yeah, yeah.
you have to put your common sense.
Suspend belief.
Yeah,
Yeah,
suspend
suspend belief.
belief, put your common
Yeah,
sense behind you. This
yeah,
because
yeah,
and the thing that I used to like about Mission Impossible was even though even though it's like Mission Impossible, like the tasks are really difficult, there's
Yeah.
still an element of this could happen. And I
Yes.
think
Yeah.
that's what I really
Yeah.
I love about it.
Yeah. This one, hell no.
This one, none of it was plausible. None of
No.
it.
No.
You know, oh, I just was like, am I getting too old now for this kind of like, where's my imagination? And I was cussing myself. I was like, use a little bit of imagination. Let yourself go wild.
Yeah.
It just wasn't
Yeah. No.
making any sense.
Yeah. It left a lot to be considered, and unfortunately, it just weren't. It was fun. It was
It was
fun and
fun. It was
exciting.
fun.
They always are fun and exciting,
It was
but
fun.
the it's all right. It reminds me of, and the movies are nowhere as bad as this. Don't get me wrong, but it reminds me of the Fast and Furious,
Oh
where
yeah.
things just got they're just
Got
ridiculous
yeah.
now.
And people are
Now the
flying
movie's
through
much
space
better than
and stuff
Fast
like
and
that.
Furious. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, much better than Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
But the disbelief, like, okay, they're in space now. This
Yeah.
was this
This is
was the
exactly
Mission
like that.
Impossible equivalent
Yeah.
of them going into space. Yeah,
Basically. Because
yeah,
yeah.
basically, yeah.
And and his parachute has blown up or has set alight, and then all of a sudden, where's the other parachute come from?
Well, they're meant to have a spare parachute, so I just took it as Steve probably had a spare parachute. That's the only way I could explain it to myself, because if I saw anything else, then I would have just walked out. So I just had to take it as he had a
I
spare
mean,
parachute.
he did have the spare because I saw like the white kind of thing ballooning behind him, and I was like, oh, okay, that's his
Yeah,
spare parachute.
yeah.
But if the first
But
one,
it just made no sense.
it
It
made
made
no
no
sense
sense.
because he was on fire, so
Yeah,
anything
yeah.
on you would have been on
It,
fire.
yeah, it made no sense.
It
But
made no sense.
again, you just got to throw it out. You just got to throw it out. You just got
Okay, so let me tell you why I was majorly disappointed.
go for it.
I wanted Ethan to die.
Okay, so here's my thing. I agree with you. I actually wanted him to die. I wanted him to go
Yeah,
down.
yeah,
He's trying to save the world and
yeah.
blah. Like, for example, I don't know if you saw the
Tony
last
Stark.
James Bond. No, like the last James Bond
Oh
movie. I
yeah,
don't know if you saw that.
I
And
haven't.
Daniel Craig dies in it, but he
Okay,
dies saving blah blah blah.
yeah.
And it's a big thing. I wanted that,
Basically,
but
yeah.
but let me tell you why I knew they wouldn't do that. Because
Why?
although this is the final reckoning, let this movie make £1 million
I
or a
know,
million
and
dollars.
that's what I was
I'm sorry,
hoping wouldn't
a billion
happen.
dollars. Let it make $1 billion and see if they don't come back for the final reckoning.
No,
That's
see
why
that
they didn't kill him off. That's why.
that that no, but this is exactly why I did. This is exactly what I didn't want to happen because I think, okay, you've had a good run, Tom. This is it. This is the end. I don't
Yeah,
want somebody in his place. I don't want
yeah,
somebody else to come along. I don't want a new team. I don't want
yeah,
Mission Impossible, part deux or something. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? I don't want any of
yeah,
that. I
yeah,
wanted to, I was literally preparing myself to say goodbye. And
yeah, yeah,
I felt like they had plenty of opportunity to do that, to say,
yeah, yeah.
let him save the world. He started
To
this
go
all.
down in a blaze of glory. Go
Go
down in a
down in a
blaze of
blaze of
glory.
glory.
Yeah.
Done.
No, was never
And
going to happen.
I,
Was
I,
never going to happen. I wanted it, but I didn't expect it to happen. But saying that, I mean, look at John Wick 4. He
yeah,
died, but they're doing a John Wick 5. So,
I
they could have always
know.
found a way, I guess. But that's how I knew he weren't going to die, because if this movie makes money, they're going to want to do another one. And it's just going to be too awkward having to bring him back, because he
Yeah.
is Mission
He
Impossible.
is Mission Impossible, yeah.
So you
But I
can't have another one without him. So that's how I knew. But I agree with you. I wanted him to,
I wanted him
go out
to,
in a blaze of glory.
yeah, I
I
wanted him
didn't. I
dead.
didn't think he would. Didn't
And
think he
I
would.
listen, I love Tom Cruise, I love Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
I wanted him dead. I wanted this to be the final one.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
I wanted it to be the final one because I wanted Tom Cruise to be on the up. Like I wanted to say, like you said, go down with a blaze of glory, but not just in the film, but in terms of how everyone feels about Mission Impossible as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree.
You know,
I
this
back
was
you
a
100%.
this was a silly movie, but
Yeah,
okay, I can deal with it being a silly movie if it is actually the end, because
yeah,
the next one is just going to be stupid.
yeah.
It's gonna get even more ridiculous.
I hope
And
they don't make any more. I really hope they don't. I really hope this
yeah,
is truly the final one. I just
yeah,
don't want the movie business to do what the movie business does, makes money, and then all of a sudden they're coming back. I wanted to be
yeah,
ended here. It didn't end as well as I hoped,
yeah,
but you know what? You've had a good ending. Leave it here.
yeah. And even, do you know what? I give it a three because, like you said, the nostalgia, the stunts. You know, Tom Cruise did what he normally does. Ethan was,
Mm,
he's the perfect Ethan. I didn't expect
yeah.
anything more from Ethan
Yes.
himself.
Mm.
Um, but I feel like, even things like the can't even can't even think about it, but it was like all the missiles going offline and the whole government, and I just thought, oh, this is just so dry. This is
It's
it's just
I got it. I just personally I think I understand why they did the whole entity thing because of the world we're living in now.
oh
You
yeah,
know,
the whole
if they did do that,
the
I get it.
the
I just
message.
don't think it was um executed very well at all. The entity didn't feel as dangerous as it should have, and that's probably because
Yeah,
they used Gabriel as the conduit, which was
yeah,
ridiculous. And then to me, it was really easy to the first movie they made out that this entity knows what they're going to do
you
before you
do,
do
yeah,
it and blah blah blah.
yeah,
And then this one here, you've got into the submarine, you've got the thing.
yeah.
All of a sudden, all you got to do is just press this, take that out, and you're done. And I'm like, dude,
And the way they trapped it in a blink of an eye, in the
in
blink
the
of an
blink of
eye,
an eye, I mean, really,
and they
And I
just
was
trapped
just
it in this
like,
little bottle.
in a little, the whole big world-ending something in this little piece of
Oh,
something that size.
yeah.
I mean, like, what? You know what? The more we talk about it and the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm actually getting like, what the hell did I watch?
Exactly how I felt. I was like, oh, okay, this little perfume bottle. Okay, that's the
Yeah.
entity, and that's
And
gonna.
you know what? It's a travel perfume bottle, not even a perfume bottle. It's a travel perfume bottle. It's a little something. This world-ending something is
This
just this
world
little gold. I mean, like, come on.
again. I
I don't know. I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I think we. I'm glad we feel exactly the same. I think we are on exactly the same page. I think we had
Yeah,
a a fun time because of what it was and
yeah,
the nostalgia and the
yeah,
whole Mission Impossible. We were both looking forward to it, and
yeah,
I'm glad I saw it. Don't get
yeah,
me wrong, I am. I'm just like you said. We're both just disappointed
yeah.
with a lot of the
It was
aspects and the
chopped up.
ending.
It was chopped up
Mm,
really strangely as well. I was just like,
yeah. It was. I tell you what, I really
uh,
did like though, and it took me a
yeah,
couple of seconds or a couple of minutes or so to catch on. You know, when they brought back the guy from the very first Mission
yes,
Impossible,
yeah,
um, I didn't click straight away that it was that
yeah.
guy. It took me a few beats, and then when I clicked, I was like,
Did,
"That's the
that's
guy!
the
That's the
guy. Yeah,
guy from the first one!" Yeah, I was going mad. I was going mad.